when it comes to defense, I'm always saying that it's more so about effort than skill, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't take skill to play defense. Defense is all about the energy that you produce on the basketball court. Defense is about your footwork sliding, changing your offense opponent's direction, making them go in the direction that you want him to go into, trying to make your opponent feel you in his presence physically, and also just trying to make it difficult for your opponent to score. And when it comes to defense, you can separate it between perimeter oriented defenders, and then you got your low block, your rim protectors, guys like that when it comes to defense. But what I'm about to talk about is a defensive bully, and what I like to consider the best of both worlds. Now, it's not a lot of guys in the world that can guard 1 through 5. Like, you got some guys that are just better at guarding guards because they may be a guard themselves, so it's easy for them to guard at 1 and 2 on the court rather than guarding at 3, 4, and 5. And then you got some guys that are wing players that are a little taller than some of these perimeter-oriented defenders like the Pat Beverleys of the world, like the Gary Paytons of the world, that can not only guard the post areas on the court, but they also specialize in guarding the perimeter as well. Guys that come to mind are like Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is the perfect example because he can guard 1 through 5 on the basketball court. His best is at, I would say, low block, low post defense and protecting the rim, but he also can go out and guard and stop for possession sometimes with Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, guys like that. And then you got guys like Ben Simmons, who to me is the best perimeter defender in the NBA right now, and he can guard 1 through 5, but he is extremely talented and extremely good at making sure that some of these offensive guards and offensive weapons and snipers, that he gives them a hard time with his size and with his body and with his ability to stay in front of them and also kind of change directions when they try to change directions and make counter moves when it comes to their crossovers and their handles as well. So a defensive bully to me are guys that can guard all 5 positions on the floor, whether it's guards, whether it's wings to big man. And I'm not saying that they're going to be best at doing both, because some guys are really good at rim protecting more so than perimeter defense, and some guys are good at perimeter defense more so than rim protecting, but they still have that ability to do everything. So that's what makes them a defensive bully compared to a guy that specializes in guarding offensive guards on the perimeter, similar to like Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is one of the best perimeter defenders in the game right now, but he's not going to be able to guard a player like LeBron James in the post, or Giannis in the post, or Anthony Davis in the post as well. So that's what a defensive bully is. It's a guy that has the ability to guard 1 through 5 and can basically, you can match him up with any offensive player on the floor, and he can make it hard and challenging and difficult for them to score the basketball. And these guys are few. Like, I'm going to come out with a top 5 or maybe top 10 list. It may not even be 10 guys in the league that can guard 1 through 5. But when you have this type of talent that you can guard 1 through 5 on the basketball floor, this skill is very important if you are a defensive bully, because especially in the half-court system, if you're a guy like Ben Simmons, if you're a guy like LeBron James, and you switch onto the guard like Damian Lillard, you can make their life difficult. I would say that's a very, very important ability to have, that some players in the game do not have that when it comes to defense. And that's why when I say a lot of times defense is more so about effort, but you still got guys that, even though they may not give a total effort all the time, especially in the playoffs, a lot of guys that you think that aren't great defenders, in the playoffs, they are really show you that they're capable of defending or they're capable of guarding. But these guys who are defensive bullies, I like to say, these guys, even though they may not give effort all the time in the regular season, because nobody gives effort all the time in the regular season, but if they're switched onto a guard or switched onto a big, they're going to be able to handle themselves. And then especially in the playoffs, when a lot of times this happens, especially in the pick and roll game where guards try to get on bigs, if you're a big man like Giannis and you're on Damian Lillard, you can guard Damian Lillard. Or if you're on Kemba Walker, you can guard Kemba Walker. Or if you're LeBron James and you're switched on to a guard like Stephen Curry and Russell Westbrook, you have the ability to guard those type of players. So that's why it's very, very important if you have this type of skill set. And it's only a few guys. Like I said, I'm going to make a top 5, maybe a top 10 list. But these guys are the cream of the crop when it comes to defense, even if they don't show that effort all the time. just having the ability to guard 1 through 5 on the floor and be a defensive bully is something very, very rare and very, very special when it comes to defense ability.